Hello world, I'm LJ and this is LJ Goes Sweden. Today back at the lake here after swimming. It is raining really bad. I can hear it on that panorama roof that I have luckily in my car, whereas other people buying a Model Y standard, they don't have it, at least on the inside. Just one of the things I want to talk about today. The standard Tesla models have been released, and with that it is clearly obvious now that the affordable model that we were all hoping for, dreaming for, is officially dead. If not, Tesla China is making a move and maybe reviving that idea. I really hope that they make a move and bring a cheap Tesla model. But based on what it looks like, I think we really should not hope about that car anymore. So I will also not hope about that anymore after this video. So Tesla released the standard Model Y and also, somewhat out of a surprise, the standard Model 3, which is, in my opinion, when we compare these two models, definitely the better value. But still both are way too expensive for the amount of reduction that Tesla has done for these basic Teslas. I don't want to repeat all the things that have been removed. I just will talk about a few of them that I think are kind of weird, especially because they are so different between the Model Y and the Model 3. So first of all, let's talk about the Model Y, because that is actually the car that looks different. And I have to say, still, just by the looks from the outside, I like the visuals of that model, because it really feels like it's a Model Y in the old days. You know, you have the Model 3, just pull it up a bit that you have a bigger car, and there you have a Model Y. And now this standard Model Y looks like the Model 3, just bigger. Would be kind of cool if they would upgrade the Model 3s now to also have a light bar, just saying, so that you have like the more premium touch there as well. We will see, maybe in a future update. Standard Model Y. Just by the looks and by the numbers, I would say like, okay, for the price, it is okay. I would actually say that this is a good price for this Tesla electric vehicle. However, we have comparison. We have the premium Model Ys. And then when we compare those features, it feels like that the amount of features that have been removed is so much that it really feels like that those just $5,000 in saving is not enough. It really feels like that they, based on the features, they could go at least like 7,000 or maybe even 10,000. The reasons for why it feels like kind of like that you're getting ripped off buying a standard Model Y is because not only do you lose like those features where you would say like, yeah, okay, they save some money, like the rear screen, the textile seats, the not heated seats. That's all the things where I would say like fine. Also that the mirrors, the side mirrors, are not automatically folded. I'm fully fine with that. I really would not complain about these. Things where I am kind of complaining are things that are more standard for a Tesla. For example, the frunk. When you open the frunk, now there are like open areas that are not fully covered like before. Come on, does this really save a lot of money? I cannot imagine that. Second thing why I'm also thinking, I have heard, I don't know if it's really like, if it's just a rumor, because I don't think they have actually sold the cars yet. No more key cards for the Tesla. How much is a Tesla key card in production? Probably less than $5. They give 2. I cannot imagine that this is making the money that they really should save. For me, a reason that I cannot understand, really cannot understand that. Something else where I would say, yeah, I don't like it, but I mean, if it saves some money, is the steering wheel, that it's now manually adjustable, not anymore with a motor. I really don't like that, because that is something that is like a Tesla typical thing. Then also the seats where you can usually like adjust your height and your like leverage on the back, where you had the buttons on the sides. The buttons are gone, but the electronics are still there. And now you have the electronics in the touchscreen, just like you had for the steering wheel. And there are two things that come to mind here. First of all, I don't believe that just reducing the buttons there is saving a lot of money. Second of all, I think that this is something that will come to every Tesla in the future. Because that is, again, the Tesla approach. The least amount of buttons is the best for a car. And having those things in the software is, in my opinion, actually not a bad thing. I would be a person that would not be complaining, because in my opinion, I feel like you don't adjust your seat usually like 5 million times. And maybe if people say like, but I have this and this, then you could have like multiple options, just like you have on other like German cars, for example. You have like those 1, 2, 3, you have like profiles, you click on profile 1 and it adjusts the seat, you click on profile. I could imagine maybe they have some easier way where you can switch your profile stuff, or you like could switch driver profile while driving. That's something where I would not complain if it's just like the usual Tesla way. But the approach of saying like, oh yeah, we removed this because it is cheaper, I don't like that approach if it is the approach they went here. But the weirdest thing definitely, and I already mentioned that for the Model Y, is the panoramic roof. So yes, the Tesla comes with a glass roof from the outside, but on the inside they decided to not make it see-through. They decided to cover it up. And I can understand that this is probably actually the most cost-reductive approach here. So I guess that Tesla has switched out the material of the glass to, for example, not like dim it, not make it UV safe, or not make it as like heat resistant. And instead you just like, put some textile underneath so that you basically keep the warmth inside the car more easily. And at the same time, you don't have to worry about the sun radiation and stuff like this. But still, it feels kind of weird, like that you have a panoramic roof, but you cannot look through it because you have textile underneath. It feels like if you rip it off, you can just have a normal Tesla panoramic roof. I don't know. It's weird. It's really weird in my opinion. Then something else that is like also in the US is the autopilot is not available anymore when you buy this standard Tesla Model Y and standard Tesla Model 3. And instead, you only have the usual like cruise control with lane distance keeping. And I actually don't use that. I tried that cruise control with lane assistance and it is really, really bad because the car always goes on the brake for whatever reason when you're like going through a city. On the like highway, it's fine, it's not that bad. But on a city where you have like cars parked next to each other, really, really uncomfortable. It's really bad. My thinking here, how I would have made those Tesla Model 3 and Model Y standard really, really valuable is put full self-driving on those cars for free. For like the first 3 months, 6 months, let people buy that car for full self-driving. Make this a basic feature for self-driving. I fully understand that Tesla is trying to say that full self-driving should be a money thing, because that is going to be one of the money machines in the future if they have solved autonomy. But they could have said, for example, you buy the full self-driving software now and then you're like stuck on version 14 or something, or you will never get like unsupervised. That would be something that they could have done, because in my opinion, the basic models, they don't have any incentives. Why should a person buy these? So first of all, if you are a Tesla person, I don't think that any Tesla person is gonna buy the standard models, because they're gonna lose a lot of features. If you went from like an older legacy Model 3 to this one now, I would say like it's basically the same, maybe more improvements in basic stuff. But still, I don't think like there's too much of like an upgrade or downgrade. And you also, of course, get hardware 4 when you do that upgrade from a legacy model. But as like a Tesla person that is driving like a nowadays car, I would not imagine them buying a standard model. Like not even a Model Y user from the legacy Model Y. I think they would all go to a premium Model Y nowadays. But if you think about like new customers, would they buy a standard Tesla? I could see some people giving it a try, but I still think that the price for this is too high though, because the price now, especially because the tax credit is gone, is the same price as it was before for a premium Tesla. So why should now new people say like, oh yeah, we give it a try, but we have not the features that Tesla is usually known for, or like most of them at least. However, one gap that I really see that could be appreciating those standard models is, I don't know if it's a big thing in America, but like in Europe, especially like in Germany, company cars. So if like a lot of companies are like leasing cars or like having a lot for like a fleet basically for their employees, I could imagine them going for the basic cars because it's the cheapest. They don't really like bother about the features, they just want to have some nice cars for their either customers or employees. So I could see companies going for basic standard Teslas as their fleet vehicles in the future. But still, I think they also would have probably went for that way if there would be an even cheaper Tesla. But yeah, talking about the Model 3 here, I still, like I said, feel that this is the more valuable car if you talk about the standard cars, because you don't lose so much. You still have the panoramic roof, just like the normal one. You still have the normal frunk, not like open holes and whatsoever. On the inside, you remove the back screen and stuff. It is okay. I mean, the standard Model 3 feels for me like a okayish value, still a bit too expensive. I would have dropped like at least $1,000, $2,000 more. But yeah, the Model Y for me feels like a rip-off when you know the Tesla space. When you're new to the space, people might maybe buy it. But if you're in the Tesla space, then it feels like don't buy the model. That's at least how I feel it, how I am appreciating all the features that my Tesla offers me. But of course, because this video is kind of negative, I have to say Tesla has kept all the safety things, everything is there. It's not like other manufacturers where they say like, oh yeah, here for like $3,000 more, you get more airbags or things. So everything there is fully the same. So props on that. I really appreciate that. But yeah, so Model 3, Model Y, not the best in my opinion. What do you guys think? Do you think these models are gonna be the lifesaver for Tesla until they made all their autonomy and AI dreams become reality? I have doubts, unfortunately. I have doubts. We really have to see what happens next year. We still have that November meeting coming up where Tesla might be announcing the Roadster, maybe the semi-truck, even though Elon says, yes, Tesla is not a car company. I fully agree on that. But we have to see the reality that all the things that Elon wants Tesla to make money off, they have not been achieved yet, or not to the extent where I would say like, yes, it is safe to say that Tesla can chill down on the cars. I still think we are kind of dependent for at least 2-3 more years. So maybe even more, I don't know, but that's the scary thinking I have here. Especially because also regulatory decisions make it difficult, because Tesla cannot deploy unsupervised full self-driving in countries outside of the US. There was something that I read from that Not a Tesla app article that basically said like the Model 2 idea was a dream that was never being able to be achieved. And I think I can agree on that. So if we now actually take a look at the Model 3 standard, or the more better, let's say the Model Y standard, we see that Tesla was not able to drop the price to an extent that people were hoping for. And even if they will lower the price a bit more in the future, which I think they can, I think they have a good buffer right now, it is probably still not that point where we all want it to be, and that is like below 30,000. But yeah, that article was talking about that this shows that if a Tesla would be created in like a $25,000 range, it would not feel like a Tesla, because all the quality and everything that we now get nowadays from a Tesla and all the software, somewhere it would lack. And we see that on that standard Model Y, how it lacks already, and how people are, me too, saying like that this is not good. So I really can say that it's not gonna happen, at least not the way we all have been dreaming of it. And if there is a Model 2 or whatever it was gonna be called is ever going to see roads, I think it will be very, very different, and maybe not even able for autonomy. So, and that's why I don't think it's gonna happen at all. We will see how Tesla's future goes. As always, it's a gamble. Tesla is fully on a gamble right now. I really hold my thumbs that it goes well, but we have to see. The next big thing is the November meeting and then a Christmas update. I think these are the only two things that are crazy for Tesla this year. I have some winter stuff, of course, also planned. I have prepped my windows and my door handles with some silicone spray, and I want to see how bad it is now in winter having these adjustments. I just changed also my tires, so I am ready for winter. Let's see how that goes. But enough said, guys. If you feel like supporting me and you are in need of a Tesla, feel free to use my referral link right up there to not only get yourself a little incentive by getting like either free supercharging kilometers, some $1,000 off, or like a few months free full self-driving just for test driving. Also, you would support me by giving me free supercharging miles or kilometers or something else. Okay guys, with that said, I hope you have a wonderful day. Feel free to write down in the comments what you think about these standard models and if they are Tesla's lifesaver or not. Maybe they use those standard models now to push the premium ones more higher in price, that they make more money with them. Could be. I hope you have a wonderful day. We're gonna see each other back in the next video. But until then, bye bye.